Well, hello. I've got a few things I want to share with you this morning. It's just a vlog about a few things I got done today and just thought I'd bring you along with me and share it with you. And at the end, I'm going to put a funny little clip that my granddaughter made about me. It was just hilarious. But anyway, I'm glad that you're here, and we'll go ahead and I'll show you these 3 things that I want to get done today. It might motivate you to do something like it, or you can just enjoy watching. I'm glad that you're here. I have a lot of stuff I need to do. This is a honey jar, and I just thought it was so cute. I love the shape of it. Now, we cannot keep every jar. There are so many, but the really exceptional ones I always keep. So I'm just in here taking this label off. Most of the time I soak these jars so that the label comes off really easy. I didn't really soak it this time, so I'm just taking this razor blade that's what we called them growing up. This was a razor blade. And I'm just getting off all the glue. Now, I'll be soaking this over here when I wash the dishes, but you can see how pretty this jar is. It's got the flat edges. This is a honey jar. So I'm saving that maybe to put spices or different things, teas as a gift. So I'm going to go ahead and clean up these dishes I've got right here. This is just a little dab of dishes that accumulate after supper last night. So I'm going to go ahead and get these washed up. Let me get something. My drainer is full. So I'm going to have to put a towel down so that I can put these dishes over here. To strain on this towel. Now, dishwashing was my chore growing up. That's something I did a lot of when I was at home. My mother and my oldest sister hated to wash dishes. I never hated to wash dishes. I actually really love dishes. They're one of my favorite things. I never mind washing dishes, and sometimes I would wash dishes for whole parties. Like my family would have chicken stews or fish fries, and I was the official dishwasher for that. Of course, now we had 2 big pans, and that's what we would put the dishes in. You had 1 pan for washing, and then we rinsed under the sink, the faucet, and then somebody dried and put them up. I don't have a lot of dishes here, just a handful, just a smidgen. So I'm going to be washing these by hand. And it won't take much time at all. I love this little platter, little snowman platter. You know it's still 32 degrees here, so I'm going to use my snowman stuff until I start getting ready for spring, which is March 20th this year. I like this little snowman, and I turn it upside down. I put my big spoons here and my little spoons here, and this is a great little spoon rest. Now, as you know, I have a handicapped grandchild, and it's just real easy for us to buy paper plates, or the lightest plates possible for her. And so I do buy paper plates, even though I buy very little that you throw away. And I am not opposed to washing and cleaning these plastic things for her. And then I've got this silverware that I'm going to wash up real quick. I love the spray foam soap. The Power Wash dish soap right here. I probably shared this with you before. And this is one of the reasons I really like it. Because you can pick it up, just spray over a few things, wipe them down really well. No reason to run a whole big dish pan or run these through a dishwasher, which I don't have, but there's just a few dishes here. So I've got silverware, and then I've got some, you know, silver plated, the plastic and the knives. Get those over there in the drainer. I like to reuse these. They put ranch dressing in them. They put their ketchup and little sauces in here. And then they'll sometimes take them and just put little chocolate chips or any kind of little snack, so we get another use out of these before we throw them away. I'm going to clean this sink out and then share a few things with you. Just clean the sink a little bit. And of course, during the day, I'll be washing dishes all day long. I don't know if it's like that at your house or not, but I'll be fixing meals, snacks, and washing other things all day. Now, I went to Mama's yesterday. I visited her. Or was it the day before yesterday? It was Monday. So I visited Mama on Monday, and I don't know if it's like this with you guys or not, but whenever I visit Mama, I come back with the goodies. She sets aside things that she wants to give us all, you know, during the time between the last visit and when we're coming the next time. And these are the gifts, the goodies that I got from Mama. She had two 5-pound bags of sugar. That one's from Walmart, and I don't know where this one's from. Doesn't matter. And I'm going to put these in the sugar canisters today. And she sent Concord grape jelly because she knows this is Donald's favorite. And I also have a granddaughter that loves to eat grape jelly and peanut butter. So she sent those, and then I got these little chocolates. She told me not to eat them, but to bring them home. But I did. I ate one. So that's the little gifts, the little sweet mama gifts. And everybody knows that mama gifts are very special. Well, when I was out looking at the camellias, I picked two because I'm going to make camellia tea this morning. That will be a treat for me. I'm going to make that tea and enjoy it. And I may go out there and harvest a few more of those really beautiful blooms. There's so many of them. I might go harvest some and dry them and keep them for tea for later in the season. Now I wanted to share with you, I've shared this with you several times. I took one leaf from an African violet that I had, and I put it in this cup, and it was like a little terrarium. Well, as you can see, this little African violet has grown, and it has certainly outgrew its little cup. So I've got to pot that today. It's been in that container long enough. But don't throw these out. These are treasures awaiting to be used. This is a tiny terrarium for anything that you want to start. Outside that camellia bush that I took you to this morning that has all those beautiful blooms, I have a friend that wants a cutting of that, and I also have a brother-in-law that wants a cutting for his garden. So I'm going to have to see if I've got another McDonald's cup or another takeout cup that's plastic like this with a lid, so I can make a little terrarium to get those friends and family starts to that camellia bush. But I just wanted to share with you how big this plant has gotten. Now it has pubescent leaves, slightly hairy leaves on here. And so they don't like to get wet. I'm going to have to be very careful taking this out of this container. And I'm going to go ahead and find a pot to put it in. I'm going to need a small pot to put this in. I have several here around the house. I have a variety of them. But you can see the size of this. You don't want to go much bigger than what this plant is already in when you're repotting it. So I'm going to have to try to find something that's kind of close, but maybe just a little bit bigger. These are the ones that I pulled out. I had this little pot. This will be good because African violets like to be watered from the bottom up, and I can put this in a little dish and water from the bottom up. Then I've got this one I thought was really pretty. It's a little bit too big. Really, but I could still make it work. It would still work, and I do think that is a pretty little pot. And then I've got this one. It says plant a kiss on me. It's a Ray Dunn. I think that's cute, and it would be cute in here. Of course, it doesn't have drainage, and it doesn't have the ability to be watered from the bottom up. But that is not I mean, you know, I wouldn't really have to worry about that a lot because I've had this plant in here. It's not being watered from the bottom up its whole life. I've been careful to kind of bend back and not get water on the leaves. A pubescent leaf that has like hair or fuzz on it does not like to get wet. So I really need it to be where I can either reach in around it and water it. This one I've just been kind of folding back and then watering it, and you can tell because there's a little brown leaf. I've probably damaged it, bending it back, trying to get water in there without getting it all over the leaves. And they like warm water. Well, these planters, these two were outside in my little greenhouse. You know, it's not a big greenhouse. It's one of those little portable, tiny ones. And this one's been inside, you know. So it's 32 degrees outside. These were really cold. So when I washed them, I made sure to run warm water in them so that they'll be warm when I put the plant in it, or whichever one I choose, you know, it'll be warm. And I think I'm going to choose this one. just because it's the one that's the closest, the next step up for this plant. Now I've got soil. My soil was outside in that greenhouse, and it was freezing too. So I've got it in the oven. It's in the oven in a tin can. Let me see if I can turn the light on the oven. And it's warming up because the soil was frozen, and I can't put it in cold frozen soil. These are tropical plants. They grow in a very warm place, and they would not like being put into 32-degree soil. So I have to warm the soil up, then make sure it's cooled down enough so that it won't burn the roots when I transfer it. So I've got a little bit more going on because it's cold outside than I would if I was just doing it on a summer day. But I'm going to put it in this little pot when the soil gets warmed up. And then this new little African violet that I propagated from one leaf will be able to stretch its leaves and grow. It'll be able to be in a pot of its own, and I'll have a beautiful new plant free. I didn't buy anything to get it. I had a African violet really big. I gave that to a friend because my plants overgrow the space that I have for them. And then I kept one little leaf, put it in here in this little homemade greenhouse nursery type terrarium here, made from a McDonald's cup. And you know, for a long time the lid was on it because it was just one little leaf. But then it outgrew its container, and you know, I had to take that lid off so it could get more air and so it could stretch out there. So I'll be repotting this little plant, and we'll see how it does. But I've got to let the soil warm up and then make sure it's not too warm, and then we'll get started and I'll get that little project done. Well, I'm going to stop and have a cup of tea before I finish planting that little plant. I've got a little Harney and Sons breakfast tea here I'm going to put in. And I've got 2 flowers that I got from the camellia bush. Now you can put the whole flower in, and that's really pretty. But I always cut it up because it exposes more of the area of the camellia to the boiling water. And it helps to make where the tea dissolves in there better. So that's what I'm going to do. Got the water going right here. And I'm just going to infuse some camellia tea this morning with the breakfast tea. I might dry some of these flowers so that I'll have the tea, you know, during the summer, and when the flowers are not there. Of course, you can do it with the tea leaves too. Well, this is what it looks like when it's infused. It's not real dark. I pull it up just to extract more out of the tea bag and out of the flowers, camellia flowers. And I'm just going to go ahead and pour a cup of this and enjoy it. Okay, our tea is probably steeped enough. This is how it looks. When it's steeped, we've got that black tea, Harney and Sons tea bag in there, and then we've got the camellia flowers in there. And so we're going to taste it and see what it tastes like. I didn't add anything. You know, the good thing about these teas is that you can taste the flavor of what kind of tea you have in there. Mama was asking me about how the butterfly tea tasted, and you know, you get used to the herbally taste of things. This does have some Harney & Sons black breakfast tea in it, black pekoe. But let's see how our tea tastes. It's a little bit hot. It's really good. I can taste the camellia flower in it. The camellia is still hot. So I'm going to only sip a little bit of it. But I can't wait until it gets where I can taste it. Where it's cool enough where I can really drink a big drink of it. It's really good. Well, we got to go in there and finish potting our little African violet. Well, our soil has warmed up enough that we can go ahead and use it. I've got this little saucer that I'm going to place up under this little blue flower pot that we're going to transfer our African violet into. So we've got the little saucer under our little pot that has our little drainage hole. Now I am going to take a coffee filter and I'm going to take off just enough of it to cover the bottom of this hole, because I don't want my soil to come out of this hole. And this coffee filter will still allow the dirt to stay in, but to be able to absorb the water up through it when it needs it. Now I think I'm just going to cut this cup, because I think it'll be the easiest way to get this plant out and cause the least amount of stress on the plant. I don't want to damage any of the leaves. As I'm taking this out. So I'm just cutting right around the cup. It's a little messy, and I'm just sliding that gently out. And now I'm just going to tap it out. And I'm going to take the dirt container. Now I watered this right before I'm repotting it, because I imagine it's going to cause a little bit of stress for this plant to be transplanted. There we go. So I'm just going to snug it right down in there. Then I'll take the dirt that I brought in from outside and I'll just work it down in and around. Now hopefully this little African violet that I started from one little leaf will be able to stretch out, and it'll be able to expand in its new little container. It'll be happier. And I'm just working it in, working it around. Now here we go. We got it in our little pot. I'm just going to go ahead and clean all this up while I've got it in here. I'm going to wipe this dirt off of the rim. It's plenty of moist enough. Now you can see it's leaning a little bit, but that's okay because when I get it in the sun, it'll straighten it up as it spreads out. But isn't it pretty? It's absolutely free. Of course, you have to have an initial host plant to get it off of, which I had one and I gave it to a friend because it got very large. And it got bigger than I had room for it. But you can see this pretty little thing is a pretty house plant, and it cost me absolutely nothing. I had the pot, I had the soil, had the little dish it was under, grew the little plant, and now I've got this beautiful little African violet to enjoy this summer. Well, I sure do thank you for joining me, for letting me show you 3 ways how to use some leftover things that make a really good that make really good items for your home to complete projects, like the recycled cup that you can use for a terrarium to propagate plants, the pretty jars that you can keep to put things in, and the free camellias that you can, if you have them in your yard, you can get them and make tea out of them. Now make sure they don't have anything sprayed on them. Make sure that they're just organic out there in your yard, or somebody you know that hasn't sprayed on them, and make you some really good tea from camellias. Thank you for joining me today. And like always, until next time. Now when you get these little jars all cleaned up, there's a little bit of sticker residue left. Sometimes that happens. But when they're dried out inside, then you can use them for storage jars. You can see really good when you leave some of the label residue on. Once they get clean and dried. But I think they're so pretty, and they're really good. In my case, you know, I save all of my florals and things for tea, the ones that are edible, and then plenty of plants. But you can use these to store anything that you want to store in them, and they can be just beautiful. You can put sugar, popcorn, you know, anything that you want to put in them. I'll just take a minute and put this comfrey in. Now normally I like to put my stuff in opaque jars, you know, like these that are colored green, amber, blue, different colors, because it protects the herbs. But if you're giving this for a gift, how beautiful is this jar to put your herbs in, or your teas. If you make a custom tea, how wonderful it is to put your things in a really pretty container. Maybe put a bow around it and present it as a gift, or just to have in your pantry for your own satisfaction. To have just your things in some really pretty jars. So I'm just going to stuff this comfrey right in here. and use this pretty jar to store this comfrey. And it looks that most of this is going to fit into this jar. I could have used the floral one with some of this calendula, mums, marigolds, just different things, sage leaves. I could have used this, rose petals, and it would have been even prettier. But I'm going to put the comfrey in here because I think this is a beautiful, I love the herbal look of just dried herbs. To me, that's very pleasing. I think I can get all of this in here. We'll see. I've just got this little bit left. Let's see if I can get it into this jar. Now, a plastic bag, a Ziploc, if you will, or just a baggie like this is great to store your herbs in for a long-term use. But look how pretty this is. I think it's beautiful. In the pantry, on a shelf, your herbal cabinet. Now see, we'll be putting oil in here and making a comfrey oil infusion, and it'll just be beautiful. But you could give it as a gift. You could put tea in. Use it to store anything, you know, even herbs. You know, I've got big jars that store my herbs, and I've shown my herb rack before. I don't have anywhere I could store it on this shelf, but you could see it would be beautiful blended right in with the herb rack that I have here. It would just fit right in here and be beautiful. I like the shape of the jar. Very economical and very useful. Forget to label everything, because you will forget what it is. And if you get multiple jars of herbs, they will begin to start kind of all looking alike. Now you can put your label on top of the lid. You can put it on the outside of the jar, but we prefer to put them on the bottom. I like to look at the herbs just through the glass. To me, that's more beautiful, but I appreciate labels, and I try to put them on the bottom, and we just lift them up and look at them. Sometimes I put them on the outside, especially to help my husband. I'm in here much more in the kitchen than he is, and so I'm more familiar with everything that I bottle or process and put up than he is, and so things that he uses often, I'll find the labels on the outside. I'll put it on the outside. But if I'm storing it in boxes, I'll put the label on the top. But in general, I just put it on the bottom so I can see the beautiful herbs and things inside the glass. I don't know about you guys. These are just dishes that I'm washing this morning. My husband's cups, which are water. He drinks his water and his coffee. And, you know, at the end of every night, we have these. I just set these oranges in here because I'm going to wash the fruit bowl and put the oranges and the apples in it. They're not drawing ants. But at this time of the year, this is March 1st, so spring is right around the corner. Spring will be March 20th, and, you know, it's just, we can just see it coming. But right in here, I have ants that come in. You can see, right there's probably one, a little ant, and right here's one. And so I usually just take my all-purpose cleaner, which has alcohol and vinegar in it, and I usually just spray my sink down if I see them coming in. This happens every year in the spring. You know, I did not used to have any kind of ant or anything like that would come in. You can see them right here. And then I will just spray them and wipe them down until we get them under control. And one of the ways that I get them under control inside, the dishes are always rinsed. And so we don't have like dishes sitting around that attract this kind of thing. We have ants outside, and they are creeping into inside through cracks and crannies, and that's just what happens. But I'm going to give you the remedy that we have for it. I've got a pot here. I'm going to go ahead and turn it on low. And I've got this bottle that I'm going to put my ant poison in. And I filled it up so I'll know how much I have. And then here's borax. We use borax, which is poisonous. Let's see, what's it tell you here? It's sodium tetraborate, and it's a natural mineral. So it's natural, but it's poisonous. So you don't want to have contact with your eyes, and you're not to take it internally. So it's actually used for a laundry detergent. Mine seems to have gotten damp, so it's got damp in storage, so it's messed up a little bit on the bottom, but it'll still be fine to use. And of course it's used in laundry, bathroom, and in the kitchen. It enhances cleaning power of dishwasher detergent, helps remove grease and grime, and makes it sparkling clean. Well, anyway, they've got a number on here. They've got a website, and they've got a number, and it'll help you with the multi-purpose household cleaner. Removes stains, neutralizes odors, softens water, and it is also an excellent natural ant. It removes ants. You know, it wipes out the nest. So that's what we'll be doing today. There is a common ant killer, and you would know it by name if you heard me say it, but I'm not going to use that name because, you know, that's their product, and many people have to buy it and rely on it. So, you know, when you go look, you'll see it. But I'm going to take this bottle, and I am going to put water in it and put it in here so I'll know how much will fill up my bottle. And then I'm going to take like 1/4 cup of borax. And that may seem like a lot for this little bottle, so I'm not sure. This is about a 12-ounce little bottle. I'm going to take this 1/4 cup, and I'm going to put it in the borax, and then I'm going to put a 1/2 cup of sugar. Just regular old granular sugar. Now my borax got a little bit damp, so it's clumped up, but I don't throw it away because all you have to do is break up the clumps, and it's still perfectly reusable. So I would never throw away something that you could reuse. Now this is just an estimate. You don't have to be exact. I'm going to put it in here. I'm warming up the water because I want the sugar to mix right in. I'm going to add about 1/4 cup to, you know, 1/8 cup. You don't have to have a lot of sugar, but you want the sugar to actually attract the ants. And so I'm just going to put the sugar in there. And I'm going to stir it around until it melts and incorporates in with the water. It'll just take a few minutes for this to heat up and melt right into the water. And then I'll let it cool down after it melts in. I'll let it cool, and I'll put it into this bottle. And then after I do that, I will mark it clearly. I will put this sticker on, and I'll also write it on the top of the bottle in case the sticker comes off, and the permanent marker, and I'll put it where we put our poisonous products. Now I have 6 grandchildren, 14 and under, all the way down to 7, and I'm careful about anything that I use like this, even though this is a natural product. It's not made to ingest. It can be a detergent booster, and you can go to that website and it'll tell you all the different things that you can use it for. But I'm careful how I use this. Now this has been used since 1891 as a cleaner and for different things. Mainly I think for laundry. So it's a time-tested product, something that is common in households, but you have to put it up like you would anything that is dangerous to children. If they ingest it, you have to protect, your family. So always label it accordingly, and I will label this accordingly right on the outside, and let people know in the house what this is. And then I'll show you what we do with it after we get it made. Okay, now our mixture has cooled off enough for me to put it in this plastic bottle. I'm going to be real careful. I'm going to do this with one hand. I'm going to set this pot in the sink, and I'm going to immediately run water in it and clean this pot and everything I used to make this. Now we save these little things right here from sauces. This is saved from cat food. Now, one of the good things about this is you can put your poison in. Now, I'm going to immediately go ahead and put the stickers on this so that nobody would accidentally drink this or mistake it for something edible. Go ahead and put this on here. You can put pest control. You don't have to put poison if you don't want to. Just put pest control or ant pest control, and it will help you remember what it is. But I always put this on here because I want anybody that sees it to know this is not anything that you should drink or consume. Now this is where the coffee pot is. Let me move my tripod out of the way. Now I have a lot coming in through the behind this coffee maker. They're sneaky, and I'm going to slide it right behind this coffee maker where little hands will not be able to reach it. Nothing will fall into it that shouldn't. I have got some appliance things where I can wrap that cord around and hide it here. The cord to the coffee maker is back here, and you can sometimes see it. I've got to get one of those cord things to keep it neat. Alright, now I've got this ant poison back here behind the coffee maker. You can see I'm not going to kill him. He'll go to the ant poison and take it back to his nest. So that's where it's going to be. I'll monitor it, make sure nobody touches it, and that will get rid of these ants that's trying to come in. They'll take that back to their nest and they'll get rid of it. Now this grout around this, I've explained it before. It looks dirty. It's not dirty. Donald and I had grout mixed at the hardware store to match this sink. And then look, over the time, this is how it looks. No matter how much I clean it, I can't get that clean. But that's okay because we can replace it one day when we've got a lot to do. I mean, a lot of time to get things done. I'm going to go ahead and put this back. And that ant treatment should get rid of all these ants around the sink. Are you asleep, Cookie? You waking up? Can you believe it's already March 1st? It'll be spring before we know it. I'm in the bathroom today, And I'm going to decorate a little bit for St. Patrick's Day. I'm not going to go extravagant. Just going to put up a shower curtain. I mean, St. Patrick's Day's in like less than 2 weeks, so no need to do a lot. But I am going to put a few little touches here and there. So I thought I'd just bring you along with me today while I'm doing that. You know, we had this Valentine's Day curtain up. Got this at Amazon. And it says, "Be My Valentine." Was adorable, was lovely for Valentine's Day. And now it's time just to change this shower curtain and get ready for St. Patrick's. We're moving on. The year 2026 is just moving on. As fast, I'm telling you, February just flew by for me. Well, let's get this changed. And just like that, it goes from Valentine's Day to Happy St. Patrick's Day. Now, this little shower curtain has the 3 gnomes on it. I checked on Amazon where I got this shower curtain also. And they have this same shower curtain, but the gnomes don't have the shamrock, the gold, or the rainbow. They're just these 3 gnomes without those 3 things. So, if you go to Amazon, or if you click on the tag down below, the one that is current today, that's available today. You know, I bought this one last year for St. Patrick's Day. It's slightly different. It has the 3 gnomes, and it's the same, but it doesn't have the shamrock, the gold, and the rainbow. So just to let you know, that same shower curtain available, just without the gnomes having their treasures there. But this one's cute. It says Happy St. Patrick's Day. We'll be leaving this up for a couple of weeks. And then I'm going to remove these red towels that's right here. And I'm going to hang up some green ones. And the yellow cats are very interested in what I'm doing. Sonny's over there getting some water. Biscuit's just hanging out right there. They're just wondering what I'm doing in here in the bathroom. Now, I'm not going to go to a lot of trouble. Just going to hang up these green towels right here in the place of where I had the red towels for Valentine's Day. And that's really all I'm going to do. I'm not going to do a whole lot in here for St. Patrick's Day. I'll probably change these soaps out, but not right now. Maybe in a little bit later. I'll be decorating for spring here after 2 weeks, after St. Patrick's Day. Spring is March 20th. I'm telling you, it's just right around the corner. And then I'll do a few more touches for spring. I'll change that shower curtain again after St. Patrick's Day and put a spring shower curtain up. It's just something that I like to do to change the view in the bathroom for the holidays. And if you don't want to change your shower curtain for all the seasons, don't worry about it, okay? You don't have to. Don't feel pressured. We just like to do it around here, and I like to change my curtains and a lot of things around for the season. It just makes it feel more celebratory, and it's just fun to do it. So that I do that a lot, and I thought I'd share it with you today. The shower curtain that I got for St. Patrick's Day, I bought that shower curtain last year, but I checked with Amazon. They still have one, just slightly different, but still all the green colors and the 3 little gnomes. It's really cute.
Well, so Grammy was just shaking the mustard, and it's exploded everywhere. There's on her clothes, a big chunk on her glasses, and some in her hair.
She's trying to tell you about, I was fixing Grampy 2 ham sandwiches, and he likes mayonnaise and mustard. Well, I went to shake the mustard, and it's one of those big family-size mustards, and when I shook it, the cap come off of it. It got all over my glasses, all in my hair. If you can see this yellow hair, that's the turmeric stained the mustard. And it was just a mess, and they thought it was so funny. I had to go change my shirt and everything. The mustard just literally blew up all over my shirt.
put the mission.
And they thought it was so funny.
No, put the mission. Mustard explosion.
It was all over my glasses and everything, wasn't it?
Oxygen. Oh my gosh.